check this out. I'm gonna read to you what I read to him. I'm gonna start with Genesis 15:13. I don't even know why I'm setting myself up to read all this all over again. my throat on crackery. Genesis. Hold on a second. Genesis 15:13. Genesis 15:13. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that your seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. Clearly not our land. They keep showing us this is not our land. They stole it fair and square. It's their land. They stole it and it's theirs. And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. We came here in slave ships. They still afflicting us. They kill us in the street, hold themselves not guilty. They devise schemes to steal anything we work for, anything we create. You know, take our life and it's of no, like our lives of no value. We serving them as a nation of people. We don't own anything. We serving them and we're afflicted by them. And we have been since we got off them ships. From all the torture devices, techniques, skinning, feeding our kids to alligators, hanging us from trees, which they still hanging us from trees. They still shooting us down the street. They still beating us beyond recognition. So clearly, we serving them and we being afflicted by them. And this has been going on 400 years. But the prophecy of Egypt cannot fulfill that. It can't fulfill it because Joseph ruled and they lived good under Joseph. And that's a big part of that 400 years. Let's just say 70 years. Let's say he just ruled for 70 years till he died. That takes away the 30 off the 430. And that takes away, and then that takes another 40 off of it. So that's only 360 years. So that does not fulfill the prophecy of 400 years. It's not them. It's not them. They was only afflicted like 100 and some years. There's a lot of videos Oxton did on breaking down the numbers just based off the scriptures that it's impossible for that particular verse to fit Egypt. It cannot fit Egypt. His word is sure, it's exact, it's going to be right on point what he say it's going to be. It ain't going to be something like, it ain't going to be close to, it's going to be exactly what he said it is. And if we say his word is exact and for sure, then it can't apply to Egypt. Because they didn't serve them for 400 years. They was not afflicted for 400 years, just only 100 and something. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. I'm going to judge the nation that we shall serve. And that does fit them, because he did judge Egypt. And scriptures also say that we're not even going to speak of that release ever again after he do what he going to do with us in this captivity. And after this release, they're not going to talk about the release he freed the children of Israel from Egypt no more, because he finna do a wondrous miracle with this place, where it's destroyed forever. Where he left Egypt standing, he gonna destroy this place, black hole on the map. So also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. So he's gonna judge this place. He's going to destroy this place off the face of the map, face of the earth, and then bring us up out of here. They're going to burn this place with fire, burn it to the ground, and we're going to be here when they do it, and it's not going to touch us. Revelations. Revelation chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his steam. He cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. The merchants of the earth, look at every state probably got a container yard where they move them Chinese containers on trucks after they come in from the ships, get placed on the drain, take them to the rail yard, take them containers off from Indonesia and Brazil and China and Japan with all these goods on them for us here in America that they move around on trucks. We got yards probably in every state with them tankers on them. For the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins. Separate yourself from this place, and that you receive not of her plagues, destruction. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yehoshua has remembered her iniquities. Her iniquities are perversions. Iniquities. Shalom, Maybell. Reward her even as she has rewarded you. Same payback that we got is the same payback she finna get. And double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which she has filled to her double. Give her a double dose. How much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she says in her heart, I see the queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yehoshua power who judges her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is your judgment come. Is this saying them ships that's coming in with all them Chinese tankers, they going to be the ones standing afar off like, whoa. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buys their merchandise anymore. I was just noticing on eBay, you can put only America, and the Chinese ads still come up. Chinese, you can't even get rid of them. At least I couldn't. They ads kept popping up in eBay. They selling everything for cheaper. They getting richer and richer and richer. You know, with their $1.99 products. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buys their merchandise anymore. We supporting all the nations, buying all their goods. Okay, there you go. He back. So we the ones buying all their goods. The merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones and pearls. Check this out. I was reading this chapter earlier this week. The merchants of merchandise of gold and silver and precious stone. You order on Amazon and it comes from China. Yeah, I noticed some of the products yesterday. I was like, they sell them on the Chinese website, undercutting them on the products they sold to them. Like, wow. The merchandise of gold, silver, and precious stones, of pearls, of fine linen. I looked this up. I looked up fine linen. Fine linen is white. And purple is a shade of blue. And scarlet is red. The red, white, and blue. I'm like, is that red, white, and blue? Is that what he pointing out? I was kind of tripping on that. And all your wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. And the fruits that your soul lusted after are departed from you, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from you, and you shall find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. We are a whole nation of consumers. We do nothing but consume. everybody from everywhere else on the earth bring all their merchandise and products into this place, and we just consume to no end. And verse 16, and saying, alas, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen, the nation that was clothed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, red, white, and blue, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. Man, we was just finna make a bundle off all this stuff. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their head and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, the great city wherein we were made rich, and all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, you heaven, you set apart apostles and prophets, for Yehoshua has avenged you on her. Didn't we just read that in Genesis 15:14? That nation that you serve, I shall judge. Yehoshua has avenged you on her. Look at that. Yehoshua has avenged you on her. That nation you serve, Yehoshua gonna judge. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. The voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in you, and no craftsman of whatsoever crafty beast shall be found any more in you. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in you. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in you. The voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in you. For the merchants were great men of the earth. For by your sorceries were all nations deceived. By the sorceries done here. Nation of sorcerers. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints, and of all that were slain upon the earth. Jump over to Revelation chapter 14. Revelation chapter 14, starting at verse 6. Every nation follows this place. I saw something interesting in the book of Esdras today. Esdras, second Esdras 15 to 16. And it was talking about Asia. Talking about Asia being judged with Babylon. And I was like, wow. Because Asia partook of a lot of the ways of Babylon. And I was like, yeah, don't they got some place in China that look just like Times Square or something like that? They brought into all the, you know, lights and glamour and corporations and stuff down there, making a mint off of them. But I found that interesting. Revelation 14, starting at verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, fear Yehoshua and give esteem to him. That's the same thing we've been saying in here for years. We got to esteem Yehoshua. That's our fear. That's our power. We got to give esteem. And look at Israel. Nobody's giving esteem to Yehoshua. I was just talking to my cousin. He kept saying, the Most High, the Most High. I'm like, yeah, that's Yehoshua. And I'm showing him all these scriptures, and he's saying, yeah, we believe that's the Most High. I'm like, well, the scripture says Yehoshua. You know, and I showed him all these scriptures just to come full circle for him to say, oh, yeah, we believe that. And I'm like, I just posted all these scriptures because you said it was Yah. You know, but you laughing like we was in agreement the whole time. And I'm knowing that you said there was Yah. And that it wasn't Yehoshua. And that's what made me think. I kept hearing his wife talking in the background, but I couldn't make out what she was saying. I'm like, she feeding him. She telling him, he got me on speaker, and she telling him what to say. And I'm like, that puts your household in an awful position, because you're not reading the scriptures and telling her what it is. You listening to her that listened to some man and brought that foolishness in your house. And I'm like, look, man, I'm just showing you the scriptures. You believe whatever you want to believe. Believe whatever you want, man. I'm just showing you the scriptures to show you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem, man. You better listen to this book. Stop talking about, you know, what you don't believe everything in the book because they tamper with it and You know, okay, well, I'm giving you 2 or 3 witnesses. Don't our law say out of the mouths of 2 or 3 witnesses all matters be established? Okay, well, I'm giving you 2 or 3 witnesses. Why you don't believe it? Should we scratch those out? Did the scribes do that? You know, or is the book telling the truth? But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Sad situation, if you ask me. Uh, Saying with a loud voice, fear Yehoshua, give esteem unto him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Yehoshua is the judge of the earth. And worship him that made heaven and earth, Yehoshua, and the sea, Yehoshua, and the fountains of water. And he was saying, Yah did that. And then I showed him, and he believed it in the end. I'm like, okay. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Okay, well, we already talking about the gospel, so clearly the gospel is going out through the earth because we talking about it. And we see that nobody is esteeming Yehoshua, especially in Israel. Concerning Israel, that know they Israel, is not even esteeming Yehoshua. They're esteeming Yah when he told us to esteem Yehoshua. So we got the gospel going forth. What we saying is this is the 400th year of our captivity, Igbo, and the destruction is coming. The judgment is coming. Our redemption and their judgment for all that they did to us and the nations. And that's what we've just been reading in Revelation 18. So I know with verse 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yehoshua, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the set apart angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So the mark of the beast and the worship of the beast is coming behind the destruction of Mystery Babylon. So the judgment on this place gonna start the end of everything and the return of the Messiah, because it tells us that he gonna reign for 3.5 years. 3.5 years. So we at the end. We waiting this 2019. People thinking the Messiah returning, talking about no man knows the day or the hour, when he told us what the time frame was. So we could separate ourselves and not be destroyed with this place, because if we connected to it, we die with it. We die with this place if we connected to it. Jeremiah 50 and 51. Jeremiah 50 and 51. Jeremiah 50 and 51. The word that Yehoshua spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare you among the nations. Publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken. Baal is confounded. Murdoch is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north there comes up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. Same thing we just read in Revelation. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of our sins. We leaving after he destroyed this place. That nation whom you serve I shall judge, and then I will bring you out. And you should come out with great substance. For out of the north there come a nation up against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. We leaving here afterwards with great substance from everything they took from us. They owe us. They owe us, and they're not going to exist no more. In those days and in that time, says Yehoshua, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek Yehoshua their power. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come and let us join ourselves to Yehoshua in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. My people has been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. Elijah Muhammad, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversaries said, we offend not because they have sinned against Yahushua, the habitation of justice, even Yahushua, the hope of their fathers. Today. Remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans and be as the he-goats before the flocks. Be as the he-goats before the flocks. So the nation, we gonna lead the people leaving up out of here. They gonna be behind us. Because he's gonna make an example and he's gonna show that we his children. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From there she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Missiles, burn with fire. And Chaldea shall be a spoil, and the spoil of her shall be satisfied, says Yahushua. Because you were glad, because you rejoice, O destroyers of my heritage. Because you are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. It's the daughter of Babylon we talking about. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, the last of the nations, the last nation to be formed, America. A dry land and a desert, totally desolate. Because of the wrath of Yahushua, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goes by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about. Surround her. All you that bend a bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against Yahushua. Shout against her round about. She has given her hand, her foundations are falling, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahushua. Take vengeance upon her. As she has done, do unto her. Clearly, she done that to many nations. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handles the sickle in the time of harvest, for fear of the oppressing sword. They shall return, everyone to his people, and they shall flee, everyone to his own land. It's going to be nothing left here. You got to go. It's on fire. Fire, fire. Israel is the scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria has devoured him. And the last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, has broken his bones. You go back and forth, because the same thing the mother got is the same thing the daughter finna get. Therefore, thus says Yahushua of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon in his land, as I have punished the king of Assyria. And I will bring Israel again to his habitation. And he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead. In those days, and in that time, says Yahushua, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none. And the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found. For I will pardon them whom I reserve. He's reserving the righteous, those that stand away from being connected to this place, coming out of her. Go up against the land of Metharim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekod. Waste and utterly destroy after them, says Yahushua, and do according to all that I have commanded you. A sound of battle was in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? Superpower. How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Destroyed, black hole, desolate forever. I have laid a snare for you, and you are also taken, O Babylon, and you was not aware. You are found and also caught, because you have striven against Yahushua. Yahushua has opened his armory and has brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahushua, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans, land of the Masons. Come against her from the uttermost border. Open her storehouses. Yeah, open up all that gold and silver y'all got stashed away. All that stuff y'all holding, bust them storehouses down. Cast her up as heaps and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. Ain't gonna be needing no gold or silver over here no more. Open the storehouses. They shall come out with great substance. Slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, do to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahushua, our power, the vengeance of his temple. Call together the archers against Babylon. All you that bend the bow, camp against it. Round about, surround her. Let none thereof escape. Don't let none of them get away. Recompense her according to her works. These are the commands to the nation. According to all that she has done, do unto her. For she has been proud against Yehoshua, against the set apart one of Israel. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, says Yehoshua. Behold, I am against you. O you most proud, says Yehoshua, power of hosts. For the day is come, the time that I will visit you. Look at that. It's the time. We in the time. And the most proud shall stumble and fall. All these people think they got it all figured out and don't even see what's coming. And none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all around about him. And thus says Yehoshua of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong. Yehoshua of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause. Pleading is judgment. He gonna judge their cause. That he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, says Yehoshua, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars. Yeah, that's done. That's over this country. And they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. They shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall come out with great substance. And they shall be robbed, and they shall come out with great substance. A drought is upon her waters. They shall be dried up. Waters is also symbolism for people in the scriptures. For it is the land of graven images. All of these logos, all of these images, pagan. Symbols of sons and symbols of phallics and symbols of yonis. Sun and sex worship. It is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. They're crazy about their idols. Look at it. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein. And it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. As Yehoshua overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, thus says Yehoshua, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the land. They are cruel, they will not show mercy. Their voices shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array, like a man to the battle against the old daughter of Babylon. Ain't no confusion. He knows exactly who he's talking about. The king of Babylon has heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan into the habitation of the strong. But I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me? And who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Therefore, hear you the counsel of Yehoshua, that he has taken against Babylon, and his purpose he has proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard amongst the nations. Total destruction of this place. Why Israel think Yehoshua coming back? This ain't the return. This is the judgment and the destruction of this place. And they all in agreement, in confusion. No man knows, man, all the time in Yah's hand. Yeah, it is, but he's warning you to disconnect from this place so he don't kill you in the street. But many of us gonna die in the street. Many of us gonna die right in the streets here. Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51. Thus says Yehoshua, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them. And those that dwell in the midst of them, those that's connected to it, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. Going along with the homosexual, pedophilia, bestiality doctrines of this place. And I will send unto Babylon fanners, and that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. We just read that. Against him that bend, let the archer bend his bow. And against him that lift himself up in his brigandine. And spare you not her young men. Destroy you utterly all her hosts. Arrows, archers, arrows, missiles. Destroy her with missiles. Burn her with fire. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans and the land of the Masons, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel has not been forsaken, nor Judah of her power, of his power, of Yehoshua of hosts. Though their land was filled with sin against the set apart one of Israel, flee out of the midst of Babylon. Afterwards, that nation they serve I shall judge, and afterwards they shall come out. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of Yehoshua's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon has been a golden cup in Yehoshua's hand, that made all the earth drunken. Revelations 18. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Don't listen to us. Don't want to keep the commandments. So they war against Yehoshua. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reached unto heaven. Revelations 18. And is lifted up even to the skies. Yehoshua has brought forth our righteousness. Come, and let us declare in Zion the work of Yehoshua our power. Let us go home. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yehoshua has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, Iran, for his devices against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yehoshua, the vengeance of Babylon. Verse 13. Oh, you that dwells upon many waters. Say the same thing in Revelation. Dwells upon many waters, many people. The waters is people. Abundant in treasures. Revelation. Thy end is come. Revelation. The measure of your covetousness. Revelation. Yehoshua of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill you with men as caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against you. He has made the earth by his power. He has established the world by his wisdom, and has stretched out the heaven by his understanding. When he utters his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens. He causes the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightning with rain, and brings forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity, the work of errors. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. And Yehoshua of hosts is his name. You are my battle axe and weapons of war. For with you will I break in pieces the nations, and with you will I destroy kingdoms. Verse 21. And with you will I break in pieces the horse and his riders, and with you will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. With you also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with you will I break in pieces old and young. And with you I will break in pieces the young man and the maid. And I will also break in pieces with you the shepherd and his flock. And with you I will break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with you I will break in pieces the captains and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all the evil that they have done in Zion in your sight. That nation whom you serve I will judge. And afterward you shall come out with great substance. Look at that. I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion. I'm going to pay them back. We just read that in Revelation. In your sight, says Yehoshua. So we get to see their destruction. This is for the sight of the whole world, the destruction of Babylon, and for our sight, for the recompense for all they've done to us. Verse 25. Behold, I am against you, O destroying mountain, says Yehoshua, which destroys all the earth. Look around. And I will stretch out my hand upon you, and roll you down from the rocks, and will make you a burnt mountain. And they shall not take of you a stone for a corner, nor a stone for the foundation, but you shall be desolate forever, says Yehoshua. Revelation. Set you up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, Ashkenaz, Ashkenazi, Ararat and many is the Turks. The Turks. Appoint a captain against her. Cause the horses to come up as rough caterpillars. Prepare against her the nations, with the kings of the Medes, Persia, Iran, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow for every purpose of Yehoshua shall be performed against Babylon, and to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their hold. Their might has failed. They became as women. They have burned their dwelling places. Her bars are broken. They ain't gonna fight. All the flag waving is over with. You're gonna die like women in the hole, in the foxhole. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might has failed. They become as women. They have burned their dwelling places. Her bars are broken. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end, and that the passages are stopped, and the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. Look at that. They're afraid. All that saluting the flag, waving in the breeze, went out the window. For thus says Yehoshua of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It's time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and the time for her harvest shall come. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, has devoured me. He has crushed me. He has made me an empty vessel. He has swallowed me up like a dragon. He has filled his belly with my delicacies. He has cast me out. Funny. That seems fit us too. The violence done to me and my flesh be upon Babylon. Shall the inhabitants of Zion say, look at that. Violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Shall the inhabitants of Zion say, and my blood be upon the inhabitants of Chaldea. Shall Jerusalem say. Therefore, thus says Yehoshua, behold, I will plead your cause, and take vengeance for you. That nation whom you serve I will judge, and afterward you shall come out with great substance. He gets repeating the same things over and over. Therefore, thus says Yehoshua, behold, I will plead your cause. I will judge your cause. Pleading is judgment. And take vengeance for you, and I will dry up her sea, and make her springs dry. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, and astonishment, and a hissing, without inhabitant. Revelation. They shall roar together like lions. They shall yell as lions will. In their heat I will make their feast. I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, says Yehoshua. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with he-goats. How is Shishak taken? How is the praise of the whole earth surprised? How did the superpower America let all these nations sneak up on them and destroy them like that? And how is the praise of the whole earth surprised? How is Babylon becoming astonishment amongst the nations? The sea has come up on Babylon. She is covered with the multitude of the waves thereof. Water is representation of men. Her cities are a desolation, a dry land, and a wilderness, a land wherein no man dwells, neither doth any son of man pass by there. Desolation, book of Revelation. We just read that. And I will punish Baal in Babylon, and I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he has swallowed. Jesus. Which he has swallowed up. And the nations shall not flow together any more into him. Yea, the wall of Babylon shall fall. My people, go you out of the midst of her, and deliver every man his soul from the fierce anger of Yehoshua. And afterwards, that nation whom they serve, I shall judge, and afterwards they shall come out with great substance. And lest your heart faint, and you fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. States gonna fight against each other? Therefore, behold, the day is come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Then the heaven and the earth and all that is therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoilers shall come unto her from the north, says Yehoshua. So they gonna destroy and spoil this place. They're gonna destroy and spoil it. Great substance. They shall sing for Babylon, book of Revelation. As Babylon has caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. Revelation, return their recompense upon their own head. Book of Revelation, we just read that. So it ain't no question who it's talking about. You that have escaped the sword, go away. Stand not still. Remember Yehoshua far off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. Those that escape. Look like some that's escaped gonna actually go into the land of Japheth too. Probably, I don't know. I'm interested to be able to put the scriptures together, but it looked like some not going back. It looked like some gonna be, I don't know, carried into other lands. It looked like. I don't know. That's what it looked like. I'm just saying what it looked like. Not saying that's what it is. You have escaped the sword, go away and stand not still. Remember Yehoshua far off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. We are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame has covered our faces, for strangers are coming to the sanctuary of Yehoshua's house. And that would even go back, you that have escaped the sword, go away, stand not still. Remember Yehoshua far off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. That, I think that's Isaiah chapter 14. Basically, the scripture that say, and those who captures they were, that they took captives. That sound like the leaving as well. We are confounded because we have heard reproach, shame, and covered our faces, for strangers are coming to the sanctuary of Yehoshua's house. Wherefore, behold, the days come, says Yehoshua, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all her land the wounded shall groan. Through Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet for me shall spoilers come unto her, says Yehoshua. A sound of a cry comes from Babylon, a great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans, because Yehoshua has spoiled Babylon, and destroyed out of her the great voice, and her waves do roar like great waters. A noise of their voice is uttered, because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken, for Yehoshua of recompense shall surely requite. He's going to surely pay back. They're not going to fire a shot. And I will make drunk her princes and her wise men and her captains. And this might even play into the book of Obadiah, and this place being Esau. Esau running this place. Because it's a lot of the scriptures that kind of fold in with Obadiah as the destruction of Mystery Babylon as well. And I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her captains and her rulers, and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, says the king. Hallelujah. Long live the king, whose name is Yehoshua of hosts. Thus says Yehoshua of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain. Put the fire out. Nah, let it burn. Let it burn. And the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary, black and tired, and still burning. The word which Jeremiah the prophet commanded Sariah the son of Neriah the son of Messiah when he went to Zedekiah the king of Judah into Babylon in the 4th year of his reign. And Sariah was a quiet prince. So Jeremiah wrote in the book all the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all the words that are written against Babylon. And Jeremiah said to Sariah, when you come to Babylon, and you shall see and shall read all these words, then shalt thou say, O Yehoshua, you have spoken against this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. Book of Revelation. And it shall be, when you have made an end of reading this book, that you shall bind a stone to it and cast it into the midst of the Euphrates, and you shall say, thus shall Babylon sink, and shall not rise from the evil that I will bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far the words of Jeremiah, and that's the book of Revelation. So it's clear who was talking. It's clear that this Babylon is the daughter of Babylon. This daughter of Babylon will be utterly destroyed with fire, burned forever, as a judgment from Yehoshua for us and the things that they did to the whole world. That's what we finna see. With our eyes. What scripture is that? Only with your eyes you shall see it. I think that's might be Isaiah 40. What other? It's another scripture. Because it said it in here. But it's someplace else to say it. Only with your eye. I was just going to read that. You just read my mind. I was just going there. I was just trying to remember what scripture that was. It's another scripture. Nah, it said there in Psalm 91, but it's another verse. I'm gonna have to look for it. And that say with their eyes, only with your eyes shall you see the destruction. Because it says something about passing through the fire, just like Psalms 91. But I was just going to read Psalms 91 too. I was just going to read that. That's just where I was going. Psalms 91. Hallelujah. That's one spirit. Show where I was going. Yehoshua is our cover. It's Yehoshua that's our cover. You know, but everybody putting a trust that it's Yah, but it's really Yehoshua. He told us follow Yehoshua, and it's Yehoshua who has been hidden from us. It's Yehoshua that's our hiding place. Psalms 91 verse 1. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yehoshua, he is my refuge and my fortress. That's what we're saying now, ain't it? My power. Yehoshua is my power. That's what we're saying, right? In him will I trust. That's what we're talking about in here. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. Destruction, missiles, bombs. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings shalt you trust. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. That's what we're saying. It's the truth that we supposed to be following Yehoshua. It's the truth we supposed to be esteeming Yehoshua. It's Yehoshua that's our power. It's Yehoshua that's the King of Israel. It's Yehoshua that we supposed to be esteeming. I have a question. Let's say if you want to make a vow unto the Most High, is it Yehoshua you make the vow to? So if you made a vow to Yah in the name of Yehoshua, then is that vow in effect? For sure. For sure. For sure. Yeah. That's it. That's it, man. If I have a question, let's say if you want to make a vow to the Most High, it is Yehoshua, you make a vow to so if you make a vow to Yah in the name of Yehoshua, then is that vow in effect? You can't go to Yah without Yehoshua. You can't go to Yah without Yehoshua. No man goes unto the Father except by me. That's not new. That was from the beginning. You can't go to Yah without going through Yehoshua. Yeah, that vow is in full effect. I suggest they don't break it. I suggest they don't break it. Verse 4. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings shalt you trust, and his truth shall be your shield and buckler. That's why the truth is important. We have to understand that Yah don't leave his throne. It's Yehoshua that's the king, and only through Yehoshua can we go to Yah. It's the truth that Yah only created his son. That's the truth. You shall not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day. Look at that. Shoot all your arrows. Let none of your arrows turn back. Let none of your arrows miss. We just read that. You shall not be afraid by the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day, nor for the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor for the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand. We just read that. They shall all fall in the midst of Babylon, but they shall not come near you. That nation whom you serve I shall judge, and afterwards you shall come out with great substance. It shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you behold and see the reward of the wicked. Just read that in Jeremiah 51. Because you have made Yehoshua, which is my refuge, even the Most High. Yehoshua is the Most High. Because that's high as we can go. That's high as we can go, because we can't go to Yah without Yehoshua. He's our Most High. Yehoshua is the Most High. You cannot. He's high as we can go, because we can't go to Yah unless we go through Yehoshua. So he's as high as we can go. There is one higher than Yehoshua behind him, but we can't go to him. So Yehoshua is our Most High. He's high as we can go. Because without him, we can't go to the throne. Yehoshua is the way, the truth, and the life. Exactly. Always have been. Always have been. Look at that. Because you have made Yehoshua, which is my refuge. Yehoshua is our refuge. Even the Most High, your habitation. Yehoshua is the Most High, and he's our habitation. He's our habitation because we can't go directly to the Father. Because He can't be our habitation because we got to go through Yehoshua. He's the intercessor, always have been. And this is why we end our prayers in Yehoshua. Exactly. Exactly. Because who they was calling Yah in the Old Testament was Yehoshua. And he was called in the Old Testament the Most High. Because that's how they could go to. They couldn't go to Yah. They had to go to Yehoshua. Highest we can go. The Most High. That's crazy. But people don't get that. People don't see that. He is the vine and we are the branches. And apart from him, Yehoshua, we can do nothing. That's it. He's the vine, we the branches. Obey my voice. Obey Yehoshua's voice. Ain't that the message he brought? Obey my voice. If you love me, keep my word. Those that love me, keep my word. If you love me, keep my commandments. Same thing he said in 10 Commandments. You know, those that take his name in vain. Look at these people taking his name in vain. They breaking the commandment because it's Yehoshua that said it. They not taking Yah's name in vain. They taking Yehoshua's name in vain. He the one that gave the commands. See that? Yah deals with his creation, Yehoshua, and Yehoshua deals with his creation, man. Simple. I was trying to get my cousin to understand that. But then he wound up telling me that he understood it. Yah was and is always the right hand and mouth of Yah. Exactly. Exactly. Yehoshua. Exactly. Exactly. The word of Yah. He's not going to the right hand or the left. He does exactly what the Father tells him to do. He's made in the exact image, so he does only what he sees his Father do. That's all he can do. He's the word, the literal word that Yah gives to his Son is literally what the Son says and does. Literally what he says and does. So he is the word of Yah. He ain't adding to Yah's word. He ain't subtracting from Yah's word. What Yah tells him to do, that's what he does. And that's what he tells us. He tells us what the Father told him. And that's what he was saying when he came as a man. Cain, Yehoshua says he echoed everything the Father had said and taught him. Hallelujah. That's it. Yah instructs, Yehoshua acts. That's it. He's the word of Yah. Yah speaks his word to his Son. His word speaks exactly what he said to man. He is the word. He's the echo. Yah said it to him. He comes say the same thing to us. He don't add to it, he don't take away, and that makes him righteous. Because he does only what the Father say. Okay, yeah, Pop said do it like this, but I ain't gonna do it like that. I'm gonna tweak it like this because he might not. I don't think he really seen this part over here, you know. So I'm gonna add this. No, he just do what his Father say, and that's what we supposed to be doing. What he said, our Father, our Creator, is Yehoshua. Technically, if he created, if we the work of his hands, then he's our Father. If he's placing us in the womb, then he's our Father. Yah is the Father of all, but technically, Yehoshua is our Father. We the work of his hands, his creation. And that's what the scriptures in the Old Testament tell us. You are the work of my hands. That's Yehoshua speaking. We the work of his hands. You know, Yah ain't dealing with the miry, the miry clay. You know, he dealt only with what was exactly in his image that he created. He says he does that which pleases his Father. Exactly what his Father said. It's simple. If we listen to the book, man, it just opens up and gives you so much deeper understanding of what he's really saying. If we listen to him. And that's the problem. Israel not listening to him. And when you sit back, they in total confusion. They don't understand. He finna destroy this place. And because you don't understand, more than likely, you one that's gonna be destroyed. Because he got you blinded from seeing that he finna destroy this place. And they saying silly things like no man knows the time or the hour when he gave you the time. That means you're in confusion. That means you don't understand. We can't listen to Israel. At this point, Israel is gone. The majority of Israel don't understand nothing about what they're talking about. And really, In them not understanding shows they in disobedient because the blindness is thick on them. The darkness is thick on them. They can't see and they can't hear when you're telling them. And really, in that blindness, they mark for death. If they can't humble their heart, that he can open their eyes and ears, they done. They don't belong to him. He say, because I call you friends, he keeps nothing secret from us. He's allowing us to see, but all these people saying all these outrageous things, mocking the prophecy of 2019, the 400th year. You mocking your 400th year of redemption. You don't understand. You don't understand. Unbelievable. It's heartbreaking and it's sad because we suffered too long here to be as lost as we is. Because the Gentiles ain't lost. They telling you it's your 400th year. And you got people talking about we did come under the Gregorian calendar and it equals 400 years. We came here under the Gregorian calendar. Their calendar was already in play when we got here. And this is the 400th year. He didn't tell you to pick the Hebrew calendar. Now everybody calculating the moon and how many days and adding this and dividing this times this to come up with 400 years when it's the 400th year. Like, what's wrong with y'all, man? This is the 400th year. From the time we got here. It's not rocket science. It's nothing to calculate. It's the 400th year. They didn't play with the time because it's 400 years from the time we got here. What are y'all talking about? And people patting these madmen on their back as they lie to them and pull them into the confusion that they in because they not supposed to be leading you. They not coming out the scriptures and letting what thus saith Yah and Yehoshua say speak. They putting their own confusion in it. You believe them and now you just as confused and the judgment is coming. The judgment is coming. And you don't know it's coming. Sad, sad place to be. That's a terrible, terrible place to be. We got to separate ourselves from this place or we going to die with it. And most of Israel is worldly. And that's part of the reason they can't see. And they following men. And that's part of the reason they can't see. And they listening to men. And that's part of the reason they can't see. I listen to Israel for entertainment purposes only. I'm not taking nothing from no man. Give me the scriptures. Give me your sources for what you're saying. And that's all I need from you. If it's true, let it be. Let the word of Yah and Yehoshua be true in every man alive. Hey, shalom, Aki Harfa Yah. I hope you got a poem, Yehoshua says, no man knows the Father except him, the Son, and no man knows the Son except him whom the Son chooses to reveal him. That's what the scriptures say. But listen to Israel. Israel tell you they know Yah. But that's what the scribes and Pharisees were saying and ignoring the one that was before their face. Just like Israel doing now. Saying Yah is their Father and ignoring the Creator before their face. Same thing. Just like Yehoshua told the children of Israel when they was coming out of captivity, 70 years. He telling us too, the 400 years. Exactly. Why is Israel stumbling over something that should be clear? It should be clear. It ain't Egypt. That prophecy don't fit them exactly. It's not an exact fulfillment of the prophecy. Serving and afflicted 400 years. Only us. I seen the Ock talking about. What did that madman say? He said that was fulfilled from 1700 and something to something 400 years later. And I'm like, so if it was fulfilled then, why are we still being afflicted? Why are we still serving and afflicted if that fulfilled the prophecy? Because you ain't mentioned the judgment he said he gonna do and afterward bring us out. You're ignoring part of the prophecy to make it what you want to be. And it's like people patting him on the back agreeing with him. It's like that's madness. We the only one out of all our brothers and sisters that went into captivity all over this planet. We the only ones at 400 years. We was the last ones to come. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Look at that. Do that fit us? we was the last ones to come into captivity of all our brothers and sisters. We had our 400 years. We'd be first back in the land. Who confused? Last shall be first and the first shall be last. It's not just, this word don't just apply in one aspect. It's multifaceted. We gonna be, those that are ruling gonna be last and we gonna be first. It's like it's a lot of ways you can apply that, but that particular scripture do apply to us in this instance because we was the last to come in and would be the first up out of here. And it all started with the destruction of Mystery Babylon, America. And everybody talking blah 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 instead of listening to what the scriptures say. Take it with a grain of salt out. Yeah, that's what I learned in this walk. Exactly, y'all. I ain't against my brothers. If I'm having a conversation with you, I ain't gotta agree with you. I'm gonna listen to you. And I'm gonna point out, well, this is what the scriptures say. You ain't gotta listen to me. Just like my cousin, I just had a 2-3 hour conversation with him, and he philosophizing. Well, let me pull this book out. Well, I read this over there. I took him to Genesis. What's that? Genesis 3. Why is he the woman's seed? And he didn't want to accept that it said he was. It was talking about Yehoshua, and he was the woman's seed, and that. I'm like, cuz, ain't we waiting on Yehoshua to come back, and he gonna stomp the serpent's head, meaning destroy him, and throw him in a lake of fire? And I really can't say that. I'm like, okay, well, what we waiting on then? Who else gonna step on the serpent's head, man? Who else is gonna destroy this serpent? They got a seed in the earth that's at enmity with the woman's seed. I'm telling you, the woman's seed is Yehoshua because Miriam is his mother and not Joseph is his father. He's the seed of the woman. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, you read it and you tell me. Am I saying it or does the scripture say it? I'm showing you what the scripture say. You can believe it or not. But you're saying me, and I'm telling you the book say that. The book says it. It's like, oh yeah, I got to think about this. Yeah, you finna wickedly reason that don't mean what it say. It says the serpent has a seed, that the seed of the woman is gonna bruise his head, and the serpent gonna bruise his heel. If you bruise a serpent's head, won't you kill that serpent? Won't that serpent die? Ain't that the symbolism of Satan, the serpent, the dragon, Yehoshua, killing Satan and regaining the rulership of the earth in righteousness? He reasoned, he philosophized, he had every reason why it wasn't so. Like, okay, I just love you, man. I don't want to see you die. I'm just pointing to you what the scriptures say. Either you believe it or you don't. Because it ain't me that you're going to have to stand before. And you know what? Ain't going to be no excuse because you read it. You just refused to accept it. And now you got to pay for it with your life. That's a terrible place to be. Terrible place to be. I'm not arguing. I don't argue with men. Believe whatever you want to believe. Israel believe everything. I don't got nothing to do with that. My job as a servant is to show you what the master say. This is what the king say, man. King said this. Oh no. He told me that serpent was in the garden. The seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. The serpent, the angel that was talking to him, I'm like, that's Yehoshua. You know, no, that's an angel, and he chopped up the serpent. I'm like, oh, okay, so if he chopped up the serpent, I'm like, where you read that? Well, I read a lot of books. I don't know where I've seen that at, but, you know, he chopped up the serpent. I'm like, oh, so he chopped the arms and legs off the serpent, so the serpent wiggling around on his belly. And you mentioned that he's under the earth, and is he walking up right now? Is he, you know, what he doing now? You know, it's like, I ain't read none of that, man, you know. It's like, I ain't read none of that. Well, you know, they got high technology now, and, you know, they can restore the leg. I'm like, yeah, maybe they could, maybe they can't. But I ain't read none of that. And, you know, it ain't fitting in the scriptures, man. It's like, that's why I believe just what's written. Because I ain't going to be deceived if I believe what's written. And it's like, bad situation, man. Bad situation. Y'all said, y'all laid something on their heart. Yeah. Supposed to be Yehoshua. supposed to be Yahushua lays something on your heart because he the one that deals with man. It is the blindness. That's the reason they stumbling. I pointed that out. I read 2 Peter twice today. I think that's 2 Peter 2. They stumble at the word because of their disobedience. Even to those whom the word was given. Israel. The word is given to us and we stumble at the word for disobedience. And I'm like, you're stumbling at the word for your disobedience, man. You're not listening to his voice. His sheep hear his voice. Say those are the truth, hear me. And you not listening to him. You in disobedience. He got you turned over to it, and you think I'm trying to say something. I'm not trying to say nothing. The book said. It's like ain't nothing I can say. Ain't nothing I can say, man. I just love you. I just want you to, go home like I'm trying to go home. You can believe it or not, man. Say what it say. It is what it is. He see your heart. He know what's on your heart. He know what's going on in your life. I don't. I ain't talked to him for about before we left Louisiana. That's been 2012. 7 years. I ain't talked to him. Like, man, ain't nothing I can say. You can do whatever you want to do. We ain't got to argue. I ain't mad at you. I'm just trying to point the scriptures out, man. So you can humble your heart and accept what he said it is. But I don't believe everything, because they tamper with it. Well, if you believe what's written, the book will point out what they tamper with. I see it all the time. But the book points it out. But you got to believe what he's saying. You think men can tamper with his word and he not have nothing to say about it. It's like the key to everything is obedience, and then by his spirit he teaches you, and you see what the words say. Seems simple. Hey, shalom, Mario. It's the blindness. That's the reason they stumbling. They stumbling over Yehoshua, rock with fence and stone and stumbling. I read that twice today too. Isaiah chapter 8 and 2 Peter. Yeah. And it's in Matthew saying the same thing, Even though he did so many miracles, they still couldn't receive him. Shabbat shalom. Oh, okay. They will say it's anybody except Yehoshua. Yeah. That's exactly what he was doing. I was like, wow, this is sad. I'll try to argue, talk over me because I'm asking him a question. Look, man, you ain't got to, if I'm offending you with my question, just say that, man. I'm asking you a question. You trying to rebuttal my question with a question. I'm just trying to hold a conversation with you. I just want to know what you think. If you don't have an answer, just say, hey, man, hey, cuz, I ain't got no answer. I'm cool with that. I'm just asking, man. It's like people get all caught up like you trying to trap. I'm not trying to trap you. I'm not trying to trick you. I don't care what you believe. I'm just trying to understand. You can believe whatever you want to. Israel believe everything, anything, and everything under the sun, man. I'm not wrestling with you over what you believe. I just want to know what you believe. And if that's an offense or you feel like I'm trying to trick question you, it's like, you ain't got to answer. Just say, I don't want to answer that right now. Say, I don't know. Say, I ain't never thought about it. I don't care what you say. I'm just asking. But it was turned into a whole type of, like it was a, shouting match. Trying to, I ask you a question, you gonna yell over me and ask me a question. It's like, look, man, we ain't got to talk like that. You talking to me like I'm, some type of imbecile. Well, I can't say that to you. You can't say what? You can say whatever you want, man. I'm a grown man. You a grown man. And I done had this conversation a million times. And probably gonna have it a million more. So it's like, either I know, I don't know. Or, that's it. Either I can comment on it or I can't. It's like, you ain't talking nothing deep. That's what I was thinking. Why it's kept you in utter folly. And you don't even want to see what's at the end of this whole situation, man. You don't even know where you at in line with these scriptures. That's a terrible place to be, man. He turns many over to believe on the lies because they hate the truth. And that's exactly what I was doing. The truth is the scriptures, man. Yeah, they tamper with it. He allowed them to tamper with it. But the scriptures gonna point out to you what they tamper with. Because you see what he said. And how that don't line up with what the scribe said. It's real simple. It's real simple. Just like everything he give us, if we listen to him. if we just listen. It's so frustrating and sad at the state that we in, man. It's totally sad. The stuff I see Israel saying is just like so sad. When they hear anything other than their camp, group, organization, doctrine, they get off offended big time because it's not from their idol who they have been listening to. Yeah, and I was like, I think you've listened to this. Like, I kept hearing her in the background. I just couldn't hear what she was saying. And I'm like, he got me on speaker. We family. I ain't talked to you in 7 years. You got me on speaker. With you and your wife and y'all trying to wickedly reason these scriptures instead of just, having an honest conversation, catching up and sharing in the word. I don't care what you believe, man. Do whatever you want to do. I ain't seen you in 7 years. I don't know what you into. Y'all could be into anything over there. I don't know, and I don't really care. But it's like, because he said it out of his mouth, yeah, she really, the one to do the studying. She's studying garbage. She's listening to another man and bringing that stuff up in your house. She's bringing garbage into your house when you supposed to be telling her what it is. Your house out of order. Out of order. And you're gonna perish because of it. Because that stuff she dragging into your house is a big heap of death. It's a dumpster load of death she got sitting in the middle of your living room, man. And I ain't want to be offensive, but it's just like I was thinking that I'm like, he got me on speaker, and she trying to feed him what to tell me from her doctrine. When it would be better just to have a conversation with me and go through the scriptures and read for yourself. But you want to tell me about the Christians. Same. I'm like, do you know all y'all say the exact same thing? Immaculate Conception, the Christians, Constantine. No man can be born without seed. It's like Adam was, he was born from a pile of dirt, but you don't believe that either. Oh, you believe that. Oh, you believe that. But you don't, no other man, huh? It's like, how sad. How sad. One doctrine here, another over there. Israel, something else. You ain't lying. He working out his salvation through his wife. His salvation looked like death to me. His salvation looked like death if that's what he doing. And that showed what it looked like he was doing. Let me jump off the phone, man. I gave him Jeremiah 22. Look, he calling to the whole earth, man. Don't you think it's important we listen to him right here? He calling to the whole earth. He said, no seed of this man can sit on the throne. Here go that man right here in Matthew 1. Here you go right here. This same man right here. I'm like, he said he can't come through there, but you saying he did. I'm like, hey, look, man, I just don't want you to die. You calling him cursed. You saying he not our king by what you believe. I'm like, look, you can believe that if you want to. He told you what to believe, but you choosing to believe opposite. I'm going to believe him. That's what I believe. Yeah, you believe the Immaculate. Man, you can say whatever you want to say about me. I don't care what you're saying. You can say that if you want to. The Immaculate Conception was about Mary. Why you don't know that? Because you just echoing what people told you. You ain't even looking up what you saying. Thinking you telling me something. I done dealt with this. The conversation I had before he called me, I was on the phone with another ox, trying to uplift him from having the same conversation with two other ox. Joseph is the father. Like, yeah, man, it seemed like they trying to, like Satan trying to use them to sway me. I'm like, that's exactly what's going on. I'm like, man, no matter how cool you think that ox is, man, he under another spirit for his disobedience. And if he can't humble his heart to come out of that doctrine, he going to get put to death. The scriptures tell us, Sean knows just got to come with these other doctrines. Say, let them be accursed. If us or another, or even an angel bring another doctrine, let them be accursed. That's another doctrine. That ain't in the scriptures. That ain't in the scriptures. But, you can't tell them nothing. Ain't nothing you can say. You show them the truth and let them go where they going. Okay. You about to find out. You do know judgment coming this year. He ain't believe that. I'm like, okay. I read him all these same scriptures and he ain't had nothing to say about it. I'm like, okay. Believe whatever you want to believe. But talking about the kingdom preppers. Y'all heard of the kingdom preppers? He was asking me about them. I'm like, yeah, I heard them. I'm like, man, I don't be listening to no man. I'm not listening to man. Not one. Like, we at the end, man. These men and everybody listening to them finna die. Like, I ain't listening to that. I'm listening to the king, man. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna follow the king, just like he told me to. So I can follow him right on into the kingdom, because that's where I'm trying to go. This stuff y'all talking about, I don't care nothing about. I don't care about, you know, being no millionaire. Going with, you know, he trying to tell me go with this company. Go, I ain't going nowhere. He put me where I'm at. This works for me and my boys, and I ain't going nowhere. I appreciate you sharing that, but I'm not doing that. I'm not moving till he move me. When he tell me to move, that's when I'm going to move. He got me in the best position I could be in. He showed me I don't need to figure my plan out. He already got it figured out for me. Just listen to him. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Sure. Hey, put him on down. Hey. I'm in Psalms 91. Psalms 91, I'm in verse 7. 1,000 shall fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. We started with Genesis 15, 13, and 14. We read Revelations 18. We read Revelations 14, 6 through, I think 11. I think 6 through 11, 14, 6 through 11. Then we read Jeremiah 50. Then we read Jeremiah 51, which basically said the same thing the Psalms are saying. It's just, I'm just using the scriptures to show that a lot of this stuff matched the destruction of America. It matches the destruction that's said to come in the 400th year, according to Genesis 15, 13, and 14. That nation whom you shall serve, I shall judge, and afterward you shall come out with great substance. After he judged this place, he finna make an example out of this place. Adam was formed from the earth. Hawa was taken from Adam's rib. The two did not come together and create each other. Exactly. One of my kin just sent me these videos by some pastor she been listening to, who is now saying who we are. Wow. Yeah. Tell them a half truth and draw them back in. Keep them, you know. How long has Farrakhan been teaching that we the children of Israel? And look at the confusion he got all them in. We Muslims, but we Muslims, but every Friday or Saturday, whenever they gather, we reading from the Bible. They don't even read the Quran. But they all know they the children of Israel, but they still following Farrakhan. It's like, it don't free them from the confusion. He ain't gonna tell them nothing but a bunch of half-truths, and they ain't going nowhere. They glad to be there anyway. She been amazed at these.
Eye smash.
Exactly, fleshy of flesh. Exactly. Let's see.
Hey,
I'm on the mic. Go out of here with your little drink. Go out of here with it. Close the door.
But where do I put it?
You just gotta wait till it thaw out, man. Get a spoon and use the handle and chop it up. She's been amazed at these, even though I've been saying it for at least 2 years to her. Yeah. See, but now Pastor saying it. You know, the Europeans saying that we Israel. You know, not everybody in the uproar. Like, you know, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, but Psalm 91 falls right into what we're reading in Jeremiah 50 and 51, which lines right back up with Revelation. It looked like Revelation 14, the gospel going forth. We've been talking about the gospel. Esteem Yehoshua. Everybody's steaming Yah, but the gospel is to esteem Yehoshua. The destruction of Mystery Babylon. Then comes the mark of the beast, the worship of the beast, and the mark. Revelation chapter 14, starting in verse 6. And 1,000 shall fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you behold and see the reward of the wicked. This place going to be on fire, and he going to bring us out of it while it's on fire. Because you have made Yehoshua, which is my refuge, even the Most High, your habitation. Yehoshua is the Most High. We can't go no higher than Yehoshua. We can't go to Yah We have to go through Yehoshua. We always have. So he is the one that was calling the Most High. Yehoshua is the Most High. High as we can go. We can't go no high. Can't go to Yah because Yehoshua, no man goes to the Father except to the Son. No man goes to the Father except to the Son. Because you have made, verse 9, because you have made Yehoshua, which is my refuge, even the Most High, your habitation. Therefore shall no evil befall you, neither shall any plague come near your dwelling. No plague shall come near your dwelling. Because you have made Yehoshua your refuge. Because he's the intercessor. He's the way, the truth, and the life. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. They shall bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shall you trample under feet. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he has known my name. Look at that. Because he set his love upon me. If you love me, keep my commandments. Those who love me, keep my words. Yehoshua said, because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. From what? The pestilence, the arrows that fly by day. We just read this in Jeremiah. We just read this in the beginning of Psalms 91. We just read that in Jeremiah 50 and 51. Because he has set love upon me, therefore, for that reason I will deliver him. Be obedient to the word of Yehoshua. And that's why many in Israel can't see, because they're not listening to Yehoshua. I will set him on high because he has known my name. We know his name. He said he kept his taught ones in Yah's name, but everybody calling on the Most High. Everything people say about Yah and Yehoshua is the Most High, the Most High. But he kept his taught ones in Yah's name. And what's the name of the Father and Son? Yehoshua. Yah's salvation. Yah's salvation. And the Spirit, John chapter 14, the Spirit comes in the name Yehoshua. And it esteems Yehoshua. Same simple. Because he has known my name. His name is Yehoshua. Name of the Father and Son. Name, if you can tell. What is his name? What is his son's name? If you can tell. Yehoshua. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. Look at that. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldean, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover your locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Your nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, your shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet you as a man. As for our Redeemer, Yehoshua of hosts is his name, the set apart one of Israel. Sit you silent and get you into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for you shall no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. As I was wroth with my people, I have polluted my inheritance, and given them into your hand. You did show them no mercy. Upon the ancient have you verily heavily laid your yoke. And you said, I shall be a lady forever. So that you did not lay these things to heart, neither did remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, you that are given to pleasures, that dwells carelessly, if that ain't America, that says in your heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to you in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon you in their perfection, for the multitude of your sorceries and for the great abundance of your enchantments. For you have trusted in your wickedness. You have said, none sees me. Your wisdom and your knowledge, it has perverted you, and you have said in your heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon you. You shall not know from where it rises, and mischief shall fall upon you, and you shall not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon you suddenly, which you shall not know. Stand now with your enchantments and with the multitude of your sorceries. Therein you have labored from your youth. If so be you shall be able to profit, if so be you mayest prevail. You are weary in the multitude of your counsels. Let now the astrologers and stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save you from these things that shall come upon you. Behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be cold to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto you, with whom you have labored, even your merchants from your youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter. None shall save you. The destruction is coming. Judgment is coming. Zechariah chapter 2. I lifted up my eyes again and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, Where goes you? And he said unto me, To measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof. And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him. And he said unto him, Run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns, without walls for the multitude of men, and the cattle therein. For I, says Yehoshua, will be unto her a wall of fire around about, and I will be esteemed in the midst of her. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, says Yehoshua. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, says Yehoshua. Deliver yourself, O Zion, that dwells with the daughter of Babylon. The redemption. Our redemption is at hand. For thus says Yehoshua of hosts, after the esteem hath he sent me into the nations which spoiled you. For he that touched you touched the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants, and you shall know that Yehoshua of hosts hath sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come and will dwell in the midst of you, says Yehoshua. And many nations shall be joined unto Yehoshua in that day, and shall be my people, and I will dwell in the midst of you. And you shall know that Yehoshua of hosts has sent me unto you. And Yehoshua shall inherit Judah his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again. Be silent, O all flesh, before Yehoshua, for he is raised up out of his set apart habitation. Jeremiah chapter 16, starting at verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, says Yehoshua, that it shall no more be said, Yehoshua lives, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Yehoshua lives, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands where he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land, that I gave unto their fathers. Behold, I will send for many fishers, says Yehoshua, and they shall fish them. And afterward I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks, for my eyes upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled my inheritance with their carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. O Yehoshua, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto you from the ends of the earth, and shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity and things wherein there is no profit. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yehoshua. He's going to make a great example of the daughter of Babylon. That what he did in Egypt is not even going to be spoken of again. Psalms 137, starting at verse 1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof, for there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us myrrh, saying, Sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing Yehoshua's song in a strange land? If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember you, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O Yehoshua, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewards you, as you have served us. Let it burn, let it burn. Happy shall he be that takes and dashes your little ones against the stones. Judgment and redemption. Let's go over to Psalms 137. 137. No, let's go to Psalms 37. That's where I want to go. Psalms 37. A Psalm of David. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, neither be you envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Trust in Yehoshua and do good, so shalt you dwell in the land, and verily you shall be fed. Delight yourself also in Yehoshua, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way unto Yehoshua, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your judgment as the noonday. Rest in Yehoshua and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who brings wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger, and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off. But those that wait upon Yehoshua, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, you shall diligently consider this place, and it shall not be. Totally destroyed. Shall be totally destroyed. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plots against the just, and gnashes upon him with his teeth. Yehoshua shall laugh at him, for he sees that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man has is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but Yehoshua upholds the righteous. Yehoshua knows the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of Yehoshua shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume in the smoke, they shall consume away. The wicked borrows and pays not again, but the righteous shows mercy and gives. For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man are ordered by Yehoshua, and he delights in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for Yehoshua upholds him with his hand. Hallelujah. I have been young, and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. He is ever merciful, and lends, and his seed is blessed. Depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore. For Yehoshua loves judgment, and forsake not his saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land, and dwell therein forever. The mouth of the righteous speak wisdom, and his tongue talks of judgment. The laws of his power is in his heart, none of his steps shall slide. The wicked watch the righteous and seeks to slay him. Yahushua will not leave him in his hand nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on Yahushua and keep his way, and he shall exalt you to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, you shall see it. So we've been reading. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree, yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. Look at that. The end of the wicked shall be cut off, but the salvation of the righteousness is of Yahushua. He is their strength in the time of trouble, and Yahushua shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. Hallelujah. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this reading. I just wanted to show that Genesis 15, verses 13 and 14 is about the judgment of Mystery Babylon, America, and the redemption of Israel. And with that, I say shalom.